it's easy for African men to have them, be it African woman or European woman. But for women, it's not like that. You have to wait for them to come.
The dating pool is kind of reduced for women. African women especially, yes. Most of the time, you don't even try because you are not even approached.
Would you marry a Polish man?
Personally, I would say yes. In Poland, no. For me, Poland has been the most safest place ever. Back home, for example, traditionally men are seen as the oga, you know. That respect that they are given by default, you know. Them moving from one country, obviously, to here abroad, they lose that social power.
So is it difficult for African women to find a relationship abroad?
Yes.
So guys, today we're asking a dangerous question. Do African women struggle more abroad than African men? Because we always hear that men have it hard, but do women actually have it harder? And sitting with me today is Aubaine from DR Congo, single, living in Poland, and let's talk honestly. Aubaine, simple question, yes or no? Do African women have it harder in Europe than African men?
Can I say both of them?
Both of them.
Like there's no really like a winner in the when you talk about the struggle part.
Okay. So
everybody experiences struggle in a different way. For women, for example, we don't seem to have it together. Apart from being black, whatever, but we are also female. And for men as well, they also have their stereotype that is like associated to them, you know. So we can't say, oh, this one has it better, and then this one, no. It's 50-50.
For me, I really think it's not 50-50. Because, you know, we'll still get there in terms of, you know, dating, in terms of how you're being perceived, you know, as an African woman, you know, they are different, you know.
Well, probably if you go deeper into that, but again, in general, really, everybody experience it differently. So for men, they might actually, I've heard some men who are like, oh, we go through a lot, and some women will be also, oh, we go through a lot. So at the end of the day, it's not based on gender. It's just based on I would say experience and also your mentality, like how you adjust quickly to situations. Yeah,
that makes sense. So when you first moved to Poland, what hits you the hardest?
I would say the culture. It's kind of different from where I'm from. You know, we are from Africa, so definitely from Africa we have this culture like Ubuntu people. So for me, when I moved here, realizing that, you know, there's no neighbor to greet, there's nothing, so it's me, myself, and I in my house. That was kind of tricky, but yeah, I adjusted quickly, thanks to God, and yeah.
Did you feel welcomed?
Obviously, I mean, the polite smile here and there, the whatever, but you know, yeah. And
at a point, did you feel lonely?
Of course, yeah, definitely, because, you know, Polish people, I mean, they are nice people, but, you know, we have different ways of seeing things, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, that brings some sort of conflicts with my perception, I mean, my upbringing, and then the current situation. So obviously, that, like...
Did you at some point feel judged?
Yeah, I did. I mean, being the only black in the room speaks louder. Speaks louder. Even when nobody says anything, literally. So you just, you know, the look... Even like somehow, you know, those small, can I touch your hair? Do you speak English? Of course. How did you get here? You know. So at the end of the day, yeah.
So were these from Polish people or from other foreigners?
I would say mostly Polish people, because other foreigners, I mean, I don't know about other people, but for me personally, no, it's really from others. Because
I feel if you're sharing, you know, a room with other people, or sharing an apartment with other people, and you being the only woman in that room, then probably these people also came from other places and maybe not.
Sure, but I haven't really experienced that. But I've lived with Polish people most of the time, and yeah, so that's why maybe my experience is.
So, which is your first city here in Poland?
Warsaw still.
Warsaw. Wow. So you've been in Warsaw all through your stay?
Yeah.
Nice.
Going to 4 years now.
Going to 4 years. And you've never been judged, as a woman, not with your color, but just your color and being a woman.
Not really. Like personally, no. I don't think I have. Yeah, maybe maybe some comments there and there, as in like, oh, there's this stereotype, like women, like African women, we are sort of, I don't know, like bossy and sort of like we only date African men and stuff like that. So yeah, like I've got those questions like from people, and then I'm like, where did you hear that?
Who said that?
So yeah, but I wouldn't call that like, I mean, it didn't do anything to me, but I just understood like, maybe that's the information that they got from wherever they went through there. So yeah.
Do you think African men, have it differently?
I guess, yeah, it gender difference, obviously. So I'm from dating side, no. But maybe work experience, during like work environments and stuff. Maybe also in their life. Like, for example, as a man, we all see them, see that in the movie. Like, when you see a black man, obviously you think, oh, this is a criminal, or maybe this person has something going on in their life. And the worst case scenario is when you meet a nameless black man on the road. So definitely you'll be like, oh, So yeah, I guess it's just different.
And I think, in Poland it's kind of different, when it comes to this mentality that, oh, they see us as criminals,
Yeah, you see. So I can't really speak on your behalf, guys.
Yeah, because when they're looking at us, I think it's out of admiration, But for some of us, okay, I'm excluding myself, but for some of us, African men, we think, oh, they're seeing us as criminal. But to be honest, here in Poland, I think they're much more like thinking otherwise, like in admiration, not, in that aspect.
I'm not a man, so I can't tell. I can't tell.
Cool. Let's talk about safety. As a woman working at night, do you ever feel more exposed being both black and a woman?
In Poland, no. For me, Poland has been the most safest place ever. So regardless of the time, I don't know, midnight, 4 a.m., whatever. No.
Very safe. You feel safe?
It's very safe.
And at night?
At night, yeah, it's very safe. Unless, obviously, I guess you meet a drunkard, which my case has never happened. Yeah,
okay.
So, yeah, it's very safe. Especially Warsaw, I guess. I don't know about other cities.
I agree with that. I agree with that. As a woman, right, you haven't experienced much, then that tells a lot.
Yeah. I guess it's really safe, actually. Yeah.
So how about in, the workspace environment?
In terms of safety?
Yes.
It is as well. Like, I mean, let me not compare it to back home, but yeah, there is no those... can I get your number? You have to do that.
Women love that, yeah.
I mean,
you guys love that.
Maybe they are there, but personally I haven't experienced them. Like, you are treated equally whether you're a man or whatever. So yeah, I haven't been sexualized, if I can use that term, in my work environment. No.
Nice. How about in transport, systems in transportation?
Apart maybe from just minor racism, but I don't think they're based on my gender.
Transport.
Yes, I don't think they're based on my gender. They're just maybe based on their own belief. And personally, I just decide to ignore them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So as a woman, I know, especially when you're single, you use dating apps.
I've used it once, yeah.
How about on dating apps? How safe do you feel there?
Well, personally, I Personally, like, I mean, I think if we talk about safety, it was safe. You know, just that it was just a one-time thing when somebody said, oh, it was a match, so the person said, oh, I don't date black girls. And then in my head I was like,
he's a black man.
Yeah, you know, I guess, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But that's like the first thing that he said. And then I was like, bro, chill. You know? But then...
Like, I don't date black guys.
Like, what do you mean? What did you... But anyway, that was just a one-time experience. But in terms of safety, honestly, yeah. It's okay.
Cool. So, do you think African men faces, you know, racism more in abroad, or do you think African women faces, you know, a different kind of pressure here?
Well, obviously, as I mentioned, everybody has a different, their own struggle. So for men, there is that. I wouldn't call it like racism, but I would just say pressure, as in, okay, or maybe a loss. You know, back home, for example, traditionally men are seen as the oga, you know.
The oga.
That's respect that they are given by default, you know. And then them moving from one country, obviously, to here abroad, they lose that social power.
Yes.
And definitely, I guess that can be really destabilizing, especially if you haven't get like new footings here abroad. For us women, we are told, oh, go there, succeed, but please don't outgrow the main ego. So at the end of the day, don't be too much independent, because men might feel like, oh, it's like I'm dating my fellow man.
That's true.
You know, so yeah, I guess the pressure is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the gender.
Your gender has specific pressure that you have as your own, but then at the end of the day, I guess it's all about the emotional growth that everybody has. Yeah,
that's true. So people assume Europe, you know, equals opportunities, but is it equal opportunities for, you know, African women?
Yeah, I would say. Because when it comes to opportunity, really, obviously Europe has opportunities, but then it's not based on gender. It's based on your qualifications, the type of exposure that you allow yourself to be exposed to.
Even though you're an African woman,
in African way, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, do whatever men do. So at the end of the day, you can also get that. It's just about your mindset. You are first yourself as a woman. So really, I don't think it's about the gender.
So even in job interviews, you know, accents bias?
Nah, even men have accent bias.
Yeah,
so true. Everybody, like, just put yourself out there. Do the work.
Some people do say that, you know, when applying for a job as an African here, on your CV, ensure that, you know, your name, like, for example, if you're bearing, for example, myself, let me use myself as an example. My full name is Abisola, but everybody calls me Abi. So some people be like, okay, just shorten your name and put it on your CV. So for example, I should put Abi on my CV, but that's not my name. You know, what do you think about this? Some would say, if you have English names, put your English names instead of, you know, because they feel this kind of pushes you out there, you know. So there's a kind of, you know, preferential treatment. Well, in that regard, what do you think? I'm
not HR, honestly. But again, stay truthful to yourself. And if it's yours, definitely you'll get it. And if it's not yours, you won't get it. And if you don't get it, that's still okay. But obviously, I guess every company has their diversity, I guess, goal. Do they call them goals? Yeah, so... If you don't get it, then that just means it's definitely maybe they have reached their quota, you know. So yeah.
So have you ever been underestimated?
I'm not HR, so I don't know. When I receive the rejection email, obviously they don't say like you have been rejected because of this, or when I'm maybe doing an interview, they've never said, oh, you're black, you know. No, literally. So
So, from your own perspective, right, like in an organization, from your experience, do you think African men are taken more serious, in a professional settings?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because as I mentioned, there's no really gender things when it comes to work, especially here in Poland, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
Do the work, you'll be rewarded based on what you do and how professional you portray yourself out there. But then your color, maybe yes, at the end of the day, there is a limit,
Okay, that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
So at the end of the day, just make sure you reach the limits. And
Nice.
if you are given the opportunity to go even higher, then that's okay. Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about dating now. Because that's where things get, really complicated. So is it difficult for African women to find a relationship abroad? Or a serious relationship abroad, let me put it that way.
Yes.
Really?
The dating pool is kind of reduced for women.
For African women?
African women especially, yes. Why? Because obviously to our fellow African men, we are seen as too independent, so she doesn't need a man, and to other cultures, we are seen as, maybe she's not into white people, there's definitely those small judgments. So at the end of the day, it's trial balance. You go here, you go there.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you don't even try because you are not even approached, which is different from by the time we were back home. Yeah.
So do you think African women abroad are, are seen, as an independent woman?
They are to some men, when I say to some men, because definitely everybody is different out there, and I know some men don't feel threatened by a woman who can survive. Independency comes from the survival mode. Definitely, when you're abroad, you have to figure out things by yourself, and you have to kind of stop needing parents and other people, and just cater for your own needs. So for men who are not emotionally mature or haven't developed certain sort of character, they might see you as a threat and be like, no, this is not it, and they might actually prefer to go back home and bring another one. So yeah, so at the end of the day, you deal with whatever you have.
So do Polish men, or let me say European men, approach you differently?
Yeah, because their upbringing is kind of different from other people. When a Polish person approaches you, they see you as I wouldn't say like equal, but just like we can do this as a sort of together, like partnership.
Partnership, that's the word.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think, actually for them, I think they feel proud.
They feel proud.
If a woman is independent, bro, 50-50 comes into play, So at the end of the day, they mean, I can bring in, you can also bring in, so it's okay.
But they are used to that.
They are used to that, while our African men are not used to that. And also, obviously, us, we are not used to 50-50.
Wow. So do African men behave differently here in abroad?
They do. Personally, they do, because okay, let me remove the dating part of it. They kind of, I guess there is that cultural similarity that we definitely have, same skin, same continent,
used to each other.
but I've actually experienced that personally, when a guy told me and be like, I did not approach her the first time because I thought you would do, in Africa when you call a girl and then she would just bypass like you like this. Yeah. So, and I was like, bro, then it was like, that's how African ladies behave when they're there. But I was like, who have you been,
Yeah.
So
that's just his own personality.
Yeah, but from that point, I was like, okay, now I understand why most men kind of like, when they see you, they might just greet you, but they will not try to, approach you as they would if we were like in in the same.
Yeah.
And back home, I mean.
So do you think African men are getting women more easier? For me personally, I think maybe because it's kind of easier for them to express themselves to these people, because I feel they are open. You know, the white people, they are kind of expressive, but African women are not.
Are not, yeah.
So some men are kind of like afraid, like, oh, maybe I like her, maybe she doesn't like me, but they don't know this person is even single. She wants someone, yes.
Yeah, I mean, as an African lady, we don't want to lose that culture. Like, you know, we might all be here, but still, there's that thing of like, oh,
that guy is cute.
I still want you. You know, I still want you to come for me, dude. You know, I don't want to go there and just, you know, come to me, baby, talk to me. See, you know. So I think men are just now used to things being easy.
Yes.
Because maybe they have experienced other cultures and they now see, oh, it shouldn't take me time, like too much effort, you know. While with us, kind of, I mean, we're here, yes, but bro, there's a memo.
There's a memo, you know. It's only in Africa that a man can chase a woman for like 1 year.
I mean, if you want something, go for it.
But the moment they travel outside of, you know, Africa and they see how it's been done, you know, in other cultures,
they change, which is actually sad because every woman would want to be pursued the same way you put in effort to, you know, apply for jobs. You get rejected, but you keep on applying, you know. Yeah. That's the same thing you should also get, I guess, do. It's not about, oh, job is different because it pays you. The woman also is different because at the end of the day, if you marry well, obviously there's peace in your house.
Exactly.
You know,
she comes with something different.
It's all the same. Just make sure if you really want something so badly, you go for it.
That's what we always think. That's what they always say to us.
You go for it.
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. The same way I think goes to women sometimes, you know. When we like guys, for example, I mean, it might come once, twice. If you really like him, you'll be like, you know, Odogu. Let's see. Yeah.
But what do you think women can do differently, you know, to attract, you know, the African men abroad?
Attract African men abroad.
Or maybe you think they don't need African men, they prefer white men?
I mean, go for what you want. At the end of the day, go for what you want. But it's not based on who you want to, I mean, it's not based on the color. But at the end of the day, stay truthful to yourself. And be yourself, literally. Work on yourself, definitely, because you attract what you are or what you think, whatever you want. So give yourself some exposure and then, let them come and listen to them. Don't be harsh. Just listen to them, be kind and whatever. Men talk. So at the end of the day,
that's true.
Put some respect on your name, yeah.
So you mean being independent as a woman abroad, you know, scares men? To
some, yeah, it does. It does, really. And that's sad because, I mean, being independent has nothing wrong. We are independent because we had to, the same way men also had to. But at the end of the day, if an Odogu comes and be like, baby, this is the money, I can take care of you, hey, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, Aubaine, let me ask you, you know, something directly. Would you marry a Polish man?
Personally, I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, it's not based on the color for me or nationality or whatever. It's based on mostly on the character. If the love is mutual, if I love you, if your character is okay, if you are open-minded, because obviously there will be culture shock somewhere there. But yeah.
But would your family like it?
Definitely. If I chose him, they would too.
So because you chose him, they have no choice?
Yeah, no choice than saying yes.
Or would you prefer an African man?
Like, All of them. Bring them. Bring them. Yeah.
So to you, what matters more?
It's character, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not about...
Not the culture.
Nah. It's character, the values, all those things, yeah.
But you know, culture also plays a part.
Yeah, but character, when there is a strong character, obviously will help those two cultures to live together. So culture simply, the culture simply somehow, not like guides you, but just defines you, obviously. But also you as a person, you have to remember that there's culture, but there's also you. So work on yourself and then try as much as possible to grow and try or develop that curiosity of like, okay, what do other people do out there? And do not judge. Be open-minded.
Because personally, I think cultural differences has actually caused, more breakup in interracial, relationships. I mean, between Africans and other cultures.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how open-minded are you, and how flexible and strong are you? And because obviously, if I wake up in the morning and I shout Jesus, or I say Yesu, and the other person doesn't understand what is going on, that might sound like, oh, okay, are you okay? Why? So at the end of the day, be open-minded, ask questions. Why did you do that? Try to understand the other person, because at the end of the day, you will not meet the same people every day. So it's not, what if African men disappear? What would you do? Will you stay single?
What would you do? What would you do?
Yeah. So just put yourself out there and be kind and open.
But do you think Polish men kind of understand, African women?
Personally, I don't know, because I've never dated one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never dated one.
Wow. Because they're not coming.
Not because
they don't know what they're missing.
Not because they're not coming, but I've just never dated one. But I have friends, obviously Polish friends, male. So far I would say, okay, it's okay. Really, but dating wise, I don't know, so I can't speak.
But maybe African men should have, the better edge, since they already understand, African women.
Obviously, when it comes to chances, okay, if we try to put aside on any other sort of type, because everybody has their own type, but when there is cultural similarity, definitely you have like a 70% chance of getting that woman.
Cool. So that's just like a tip for them, yeah?
Yeah.
So basically there is a stereotype that African, women are very strong.
Oh.
Do you think this trend is kind of necessary, abroad?
Not only abroad, the moment you reach the embassy.
Drop that trend.
Find it. When you're going through the immigration process, that requires strength, my dear. So yes, it is needed. It is, otherwise you'll be crying every single time. So yeah. So
the survival actually makes women more independent. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, absolutely. Yeah.
Do men kind of mistake, this independence as masculinity?
Yes, some. That's what I said earlier on. Some actually do, and that's sad, because we all had to do whatever we're supposed to do to survive, but we are still human. We are still the soft era is still there somewhere. You
need to harness it.
Yeah, just make sure you do the right thing. You'll definitely see it. So everybody,
it's in the corner.
It is in the corner. Let me speak for myself, for example. As a single person out there, maybe whatever job role I do have. After that, for them, I am that whatever person I portrayed myself out there. But when I come back home, definitely I will remove everything. And if, let's say, I had a man, hey, I'll be a baby. I will definitely be the baby. I will ask you for things. I will, depend on you, maybe not financially, but maybe emotionally, or maybe on other aspects. So at the end of the day, that should not threaten you. The me that you see out there, it's the me that needs the money, you know.
Okay, yeah.
But the me that is inside, it's the baby me, your baby. So take care of me, you know. Yeah.
That's a very, you know, good mindset. So, but do you think that African men are kind of intimidated, you know, of African women abroad?
They are. I mean, who wanna date a John Cena? I didn't know that.
Someone who is also hustling to make it.
I mean, to some, as I mentioned, because a person who was emotionally, I mean, has worked on himself emotionally, definitely would not see that as a threat, and we see that as a sort of pride, you know, be like, oh, let me ask do you know who my wife is, you know? But for some as well, they still wanna, you know, show you that, because I guess for them it's like, oh, when you give me that mindset that you have everything figured out together, you may not definitely be submissive to me. While submission can be shown in different ways. Just because maybe I'm working, or maybe I have my own money, doesn't mean that I can't submit to you.
That's right.
You know, so me, I always go with one thing. If you feel that I'm not enough for you, maybe I'm not actually. You know, so go with your type. I'll go with mine.
So after everything we've actually discussed, yes, who do you think, you know, honestly, who do you think have it, you know, harder, African men or African women?
None.
None. It's easy for everybody, or it's hard for everybody?
Easy and hard for everybody. None, yeah.
But for African men, it's kind of, I want to give you another point. African men, it's easier for them to get a woman, be it African woman or European woman. It's easy for African men to have them. They can just decide, okay, which one I want to go for, African woman or European woman. But for woman, it's not like that. You have to wait for them to come.
That I'm saying, like, none. Why did I say none? Because now if you go into details, like different aspects, now we're speaking about relationship and dating.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll have who will have more. But in general,
okay,
it's none, because that's just a particular aspect. But we also have our own.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's
Fair
none,
enough.
definitely.
This is the fun part. I like this part so much. We are in the rapid fire round right now, and I will be asking you, you know, some questions. You can't say more than, you know, one sentence, okay? Okay, so it's going to be very quick. Number one, Polish men or African men?
Both.
Both. Okay, so traditional roles or 50-50?
Both.
But come on, you're too open. Okay, so career first or marriage first? No both this time around.
Stability brings peace. Yeah, so I would say career first.
Career first.
Then marriage, yeah.
Cool. So would you relocate for love?
I would, 100%.
Not minding, you know, having to start all over again.
As long as the love is genuine and whatever, I will start over, my dear.
Nice. Okay, so would you move back to Congo?
If there's an opportunity for me, definitely, yeah, I would.
So you can also move back to Congo for love?
Yeah. If there is an opportunity for me, I would. Let me make it clear. For love, yes, but love comes with a lot of those. Because yeah, you
don't want to go back to be like a full housewife without opportunities.
Yeah, like I mean, at first, obviously, I will be a housewife, but you know, as we experience the wife, whatever experience, let other doors open as well.
Awesome. Guys, I think you've learned today that struggle is not a competition. It's very different. Men struggle differently, and also women struggle differently. But pretending that one side has it, you know, easier or harder can be very dangerous. Who struggles more abroad, African women or African men? And also, if you're a Polish man, would you date an African woman? Let us know. Awesome. Thank you so much, Aubaine. This has been much, you know, exciting and educative, insightful. At least now we know what African women really think or how they think. Before I let you go, do you have like an advice or anything you want to tell to the African woman or African man finding it difficult, you know, in Europe? Do you have anything, any advice to give to them? Be it in relationship or career-wise?
I would say put yourself out there. Don't be scared. There are a lot of opportunities for you, whether work, dating, whatever. Just make sure you work on yourself. Pray as well, and be easy on yourself.
Nice, yeah. Nice. Any dating app you want to recommend? Okay, just kidding.
Dress up and go out.
Makes sense. Awesome, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, bye for now. Bye.